A very good evening and welcome to UBC News Tonight. It is the 18th of December 2022, the last day of World Cup where we witnessed Argentina win. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha and we're coming to you live from the Now Avenue. In UBC News Tonight. President Museveni is back after a working tour to the UK and the USA. Still to come, Teso Christian women building a multi-billion conference center. Archbishop Kazimba cautions Christians against extravagance. And in our sports stories, Argentina beat France on penalties in remarkable final. Well, today Lionel Messi has led Argentina to World Cup glory after the most thrilling final in the 92-year history of the tournament. Argentina took the lead through Messi and Angel Di Maria, only for Kylian Mbappe to score a late brace. Messi restored Argentina's lead in extra time, but Mbappe again hit back for France, completing his hat trick and taking the game to a penalty shootout. Now, Argentina won the shootout 4-2 to claim the World Cup and victory in one of the sport's all-time great games.
Well, they already know that it's going to be going into their cabinet, so I guess they're just trying to get used to...
Player number 19, Nicolas Otamendi.
Otamendi here as well. It's nicely from the left side. He falls off into the history of the World Cup.
Player number 25, Lisandro Martinez.
It's probably the next generation of players that will be doing duty for Argentina. The youngsters
Molina,
who are in jersey 24 and 25. Enzo Fernandez at 21. Martinez is probably older at 24.
The head coach of Argentina,
Lionel Scaloni, in his first stint as the coach of the Argentinian side, at 40 picked up the World Cup trophy as well, the World Cup medal. Lionel Messi will be appreciated by literally everybody who watched all the matches from the beginning. And even if he has to say goodbye to the World Cup, I think he has said it in great fashion. And his teammates have sent him off in great fashion like they wanted to. The team almost being built around Lionel Messi. And he has said goodbye also in front of some of his greatest teammates at Paris Saint-Germain, including Kylian Mbappe. And of course, with the World Cup in Qatar and the team PSG being owned by Qatar Sports Investment, Lionel Messi gets a little bit of a robbing in Qatar to say, here is the greatest. Jacob, we're gonna get one of those, Jacob. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I think he's being made a sheikh.
Oh, is he?
Yes, that's
okay.
A big honor.
Oh, it's an honor. Oh, okay. I thought we'd honor ourselves as well and get ourselves some of that as well. Mr. Infantino seems to be giving some instruction on what he needs to do. They're being asked to move back a bit. Any moment now, the trophy will be lifted here by the captain of the Argentine team. It's been handed from FIFA to the captain of the Argentine side. It's never complete until it's lifted higher. And for the third time in history, the champions of the world, after 64 matches, Argentina, they lift the trophy and take it away from the defending champions, France. For 29 days, this is the moment that the whole world was waiting for. And it comes in no greater fashion than the way it has come to Argentina. Through no greater person than the man Lionel Messi, the greatest of all.
Great game right there from Argentina, and congratulations, a game well deserved. Moving on from that, President Yoweri Museveni returned home from an official working trip to the United States of America and United Kingdom. During his trip, the president first went to UK, where he opened a meeting for off-takers of food and investors in Uganda's agricultural and industrial sector. Later, he met fund managers, processors of food and large commodity buyers. The president also commissioned trade envoys in the Balkans, UK and USA to help further Uganda's investment agenda. In the US, where he was invited by President Joe Biden, His Excellency Museveni attended the US-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. He met investors in the areas of trade, tourism, minerals and security cooperation, among others. He further met a group of 40 key investors in Washington, D.C., whom he urged to utilize the better and great investment opportunities in Uganda. From USA, His Excellency Museveni made a stopover in the UK again, where he met with His Majesty King Charles III at Windsor Castle. He officially commiserated and held talks with the King. President Yoweri Museveni has asked religious leaders to encourage believers to work hard and transform their lives. This was contained in a speech read for him by the Vice President, Major Jessica Lupo, during the closure of the 5-day Catholic Youth Conference at Shalom Catholic Youth Center in Soroti City.
President Yoweri Museveni has recognized the long-standing partnership between the Catholic Church and government towards the goal of socio-economic transformation of Uganda. This was at a conference that brought together young people from across Teso sub-region and neighboring areas to discuss issues concerning their faith and the development of Uganda. He commended the Bishop of Soroti Diocese, the Right Reverend Dr. Joseph Ediru Oliyach, and the Uganda Episcopal Conference for organizing the conference.
I once again thank the leadership of Uganda Episcopal Conference and Uganda Catholic and Soroti Catholic Diocese for organizing this conference and rallying the young people to cherish their faith and participate in the development of their country.
The president contributed 60 million shillings and a brand new tractor to help the bishop take part in activities aimed at encouraging the youth to participate in commercial agriculture.
The second message, Lord Bishop, is that he recognizes that you have a heavy following in the diocese, and being a good shepherd, you are always asked to respond to so many challenges, especially this one of the youth. So His Excellency the President sent me with an envelope of 60 million shillings to hand over to you.
He informed the over 5,000 youth attending the conference that the NRM's interventions to improve access to maternal health services and the mass immunization campaigns against the killer diseases have significantly reduced the infant mortality rates.
The opportunity to receive the implement, that is the tractor, that will go to the office of the youth. I think the major will know how to handle it. Thank you so much, Dr. Jessica. Thank you so much, His Excellency, for the envelope that will help us offset some of the challenges and expenses that the coordinator mentioned.
The president told youth that besides being healthy, educated and skilled, they should also uphold correct ideas and principles that will propel the country's prosperity and stability.
The NRM government has established a solid foundation for Uganda's development and socio-economic transformation. However, development alone is not enough, though it must come first. Development is a collective good for everyone, but wealth and jobs belong to individuals, families, groups, or companies. We should not have spectators in the drive towards increasing the household incomes. To make sure we eliminate the 39% of the households which are still engaged in subsistence farming, working only for the stomach.
The president assured youth that as more and more Ugandans wake up, production of all industrial and agricultural commodities will go up, and in the long run, the internal market of 45 million people will not be enough.
In more stories, Christian Women under umbrella organization, the International Christian Women Annual Conferences and Crusades, have launched a fundraising drive to construct a multi-billion international conference center in Soroti City. While closing the 4-day women's workshop at Soroti Secondary School, Vice President Major Jessica Lupo pledged 50 million Ugandan shillings as the first installment towards the construction of the multi-purpose center. When completed, the center will have a host of conference facilities, accommodation for women, offices and other numerous social amenities to aid in equipping and empowering the women. Details follow.
And God the Holy Spirit, and everybody say amen.
Allow me to welcome our very important guest, Bishop Reeves, who we don't have every day here. You are most welcome to Soroti. And you are most welcome. And you are most welcome to Uganda. And you look like us. That means you are our son. Who went to the US a long time ago. And now God is saying, go back home and speak to your brothers and sisters. The government of Uganda has a very powerful article in the Constitution of Uganda, which says that Uganda shall observe freedom of worship. And His Excellency the President has been spearheading that article in the Constitution and enabling the people of Uganda to worship as they wish. That's why Christians can come and worship God here in Soroti. Let me also share with you and our guest from the US that in the NRM government, we do not discriminate. The government serves its people regardless of age, tribe, religion, gender, and other factors which may not be the same amongst the groups. In the same vein, I request that all the religious leaders and religious people of God keep that unity. I want to pledge my personal support to you as women who have identified me as their Esther. I'm going to be with you and walk with you the journey together of all the programs and objectives of your mission. The International Conference Center, the first of its kind and a very unique one which is not anywhere in the world, He's going to be constructed here in Soroti, and I have already done the groundbreaking ceremony. I will relay the message to His Excellency the President as you have requested, so that he supports us in that project. But as a messenger of the President, I will also go and look for some small envelope from my office, and then I bring it towards that project. My first installment will be 50 million next month.
We believe that this day is the beginning of a new future for this county, this city, and this nation. That this country rise up and be known as its word and its slogan, the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. In Jesus' name, amen.
In more stories, Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has asked the Seventh-day Adventists to embrace government programs aimed at improving household incomes and livelihoods. Now, Nabanja was presiding over a fundraising drive for the completion of Kikwite SDA Diocese of Bunyoro region in Hoima City. Take a look.
Prime Minister Robina Nabanja says the government has come up with several programs aimed at addressing the poor. Nabanja wants parents to ensure that they invest in the education of their children if they are to be responsible citizens in future.
Tukubasaba abana mbakuze bali engeso abana baitu abanya Uganda abana baitu ababuyo nukuba Nabanja barabarubiro mubusobozi abana baitu babe balichi balindirire ekyo kibi arajayo mwana atasomera mu Prime Minister owa kulimba so muerera abana mungeri zona.
The SDA Bishop in charge of Bunyoro region, Anatole Mugenyi, says that believers should give back to God, whether children or old, with a willing heart.
Na mbere Musa yayesere ekitebe kyona ekyabana bayisaleeri n'abagambira ati ngukinu nike kiragiro Mukama Ruhange ekyaragire n'agamba ati buli muntu omulinyo aleete kisembo n'omutima ogw'okugonza. From among you an offering to the Lord, whoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it as an offering to the Lord, gold, silver and bronze.
The Mayor Hoima Oil City, Brian Kaboyo, thanked the government for the establishment of a blood bank in Bunyoro sub-region.
Nkwenda kumanyisa nti government ebintu ya government ekozere blood bank wiki ehoire tukagitongoza government egenda gyombeka blood bank musite kanda mani gaogaro government tukagitongoza wiki ehoire ekyakandi Prime Minister ekinta kwenda kererwa akiki nti president akaha pledge all amaramizo gona kyonka ezengudo obunabene kyayika mu office ndahandikira executive director owa UNRA in January hati yagamba isindika abantu bakora plan baija barambura kola si hano harusozi kyonka government omwezi gwa November Prime Minister executive director akampandikira nagamba government sente tibazina tizikumara kurungi kandi nyonya manje kiro kinoboka izire nakyo kihoyire tutero mungara kiki.
The Prime Minister contributed 23 million shillings and pledged 450 iron sheets from her office.
Muhagire muno programs za government. Abo kubechi gendererwa kyazo kiri kyokuro rangu nitukurakurana. Muhagire program y'emyoka kandi mwijumbire nayo genda wenyikiremu. Haliwo program yaitu enganzi munena kuzino. Eya parish mondo wenyikiremu taro warakweta arufu wende bakora bantu.
The Prime Minister later in the day presided over the commissioning of the Place Hotel in Hoima City, where she thanked investors for creating employment for Ugandans.
The Archbishop Church of Uganda, Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, has urged Christians to know the significance of Christmas other than eating, drinking and overspending. Now, Kazimba Mugalu was delivering his Sunday sermon at his residence at Namirembe Hill, in Kampala district.
The Archbishop of Church of Uganda, Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, has cautioned the Christians not to spend anyhow during the Christmas season.
Don't enter Christmas with debts. When you go to eat, don't overspend because you have school fees. Don't overspend on food. Spend according to your means, because even tomorrow you eat. Never eat as if you have never eaten. Even the stomach goes on demonstration and it riots because you are eating. No, you should be disciplined.
Kazimba wants all the Christians to know the meaning and importance of the birth of Jesus Christ onto their lives.
And it should be the focus in Psalms 105. Not us, but you who should be glorified. Your name should be glorified. Christmas is not about eating, it's not about overspending, it's about glorifying Jesus Christ. Whether you have received little or nothing, Christmas will pass.
He also cautioned them against acts of immorality during the festive season.
Let me tell you, whatever you do should be for glorifying God. Whether mankind talks about it or not, you should know God is on your side. It is for actual giving and believing and also forgiving. We should really ensure we take the message that will promote Jesus Christ as the King of Kings, as the Lord of Lords, as the Master of all Masters. Everybody should know Jesus. We should come to a proper realization of Jesus as the King, and we point everybody to Jesus, that is the Savior of the world.
Archbishop Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu communicated this during the Sunday service at his residence at Namirembe Hill in Kampala. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Deborah. The Bishop of Namirembe Diocese, the Right Reverend Wilberforce Chitoluwalira, has commissioned the newly constructed church of St. Mark Church of Uganda, Sechiwonga in Entebbe. Bishop Luwalira lauded believers in the Church of Uganda for the sustainable preaching of the gospel. He, however, cautioned the general public to be vigilant during the festival season. Take a look.
St. Mark Church of Uganda at Sechiwonga, Hirakrite City in Kajanstown, Kansa, Entebbe, Wachiso District. The Bishop of Namirembe Diocese, the Right Reverend Wilberforce Chitoluwalira, officiated the commissioning ceremony. Chitoluwalira urged the general public to remain vigilant during this festive season and ask the believers to exhibit love, respect and care for each other.
I want to appeal to my fellow Ugandans that whenever we come to such a festive season, so much is taking place around us. So we have to be cautious. We have to be very, very careful about our lives, because people may rejoice and forget all about caring for their lives. We have outbreaks now and again. We had COVID, now we have Ebola. We have not been cleared yet.
Luwalira advised parents not to overspend during Christmas season.
As parents, we have to mobilize for resources for their education, because soon and very soon they will be going back for their studies and they will be demanding.
Venerable Danson Kamazinga, the main celebrant, in his sermon pointed out to the relevance of Christmas towards Christians.
There was a lot of excitement before the birth of Jesus Christ, because it was known that the Savior was going to be born. Kakati nyimba nga zino amakulu gazo kututeekateeka. In a couple of days we shall remember the birth of Jesus Christ.
Reverend Kamazinga encouraged believers to show forgiveness and love towards each other. As they celebrate Christmas, Entebbe Kidinkonera Reverend Canon John Gita Kavuma Salongo commended the Church of Uganda for spreading the gospel.
Omulimu guno aguli wakati nnyo kubanga bwe baali batema evvuunike amanyi ne bbulooka yasooka mu musingi.
In attendance was the Minister for Energy and Mineral Resources, Luthi Nankabirwa, among others.
And we committed ourselves. Phase 1, we must, within 52 days, we must finish the foundation. Then within another 52 days, we go to another phase. There were just a few phases, and the church was built in 4 years, and the 4 years, including the period of COVID-19. But we did not stop. We have furnished the church. Everything that is required to be in the church is in this church.
Deborah Namamonde, Sula Kagugube, UBC News.
63 members of the East African Legislative Assembly are due to take oath for the 5-year mandate. Recently elected across all 7 countries of the region, now the members of parliament will swear in the East African Community Secretariat headquarters in Arusha, Tanzania. The clerk to the Assembly, Alex Obachri, says ex-official members, including ministers in charge of East Africa and their deputies, will equally take oath. Details follow.
Right inside this establishment on this podium is where recently elected members of the East African Legislative Assembly will take their oath as guided.
Taking oath is usually the first business we have before election of speaker. It gives members the mandate to vote.
The 63 from 7 countries of the region are set to take to the podium.
We have received lists from all partner states of East Africa. That is right from Burundi, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, DRC, South Sudan, and United Republic of Tanzania.
All the members have successfully registered. One of them is George Odongo, the other is Rose Akol, both from Uganda, who are optimistic in their next tour of duty.
So our role this time is going to really put the council on the spotlight to tell us, to show cause why we should not ask the East African citizens to reprimand them for non-action.
We have so far passed almost all the legal framework that is required to put in place the East African Monetary Union. So this is the stage where we are supposed to establish the East African Central Bank, which should ultimately bring East Africa into a one currency unit.
Focus on addressing non-tariff barriers and advancing political confederation and federation appear to be top among their starting points.
So I really want to see that as we move into this 5-year term, those 2 pillars are achieved so that in the 5 years we are here, we have the political federation.
Successful taking of oath will be followed by election of the Assembly Speaker on Tuesday. 4 candidates, including 3 from South Sudan and 1 from Burundi, expressed interest. One of the 3 has confirmed pulling out of the race.
In respect to my country's decision and also giving respect and support to my colleague and friend, Honorable Dr. Anito, I stepped aside and I withdrawn my application.
The rules indicate that the speakership is determined in the first round on the basis of a 2/3 majority. Whether there's a competitor or not, an election has to take place.
Expected at the swearing-in is Kenya's former presidential candidate, Raila Amolo Odinga, whose daughter Winnie Odinga recently became a member of IALA. Henry Okrut, UBC, Arusha in Tanzania.
Small and Medium Companies Trade Fair 2022 exhibition, which was taking place at the Kololo Independence Grounds, has been concluded. State Minister in charge of cooperatives from Ministry of Trade, Frederick Gume, asked exhibitors to embrace East African integration agenda to enable them expand the market.
Over 300 exhibitors from East African community have participated in the week-long Small and Medium Company Trade Fair 2022 exhibition. The exhibition took place at Kora Independence Grounds in Kampala, where exhibitors were showcasing different products. The exhibition was closed by the State Minister for Cooperatives, Frederick Gume, who said that it is through exhibitions that traders from East African community have wide market for their produce.
The trade fair shines a light on the impact on the image of the sector, which is today seen as the panacea in the daunting question of unemployment and poverty alleviation in the region. It is my considered opinion that the trade fair achieved its main objective of deepening opportunities for the micro, small, medium enterprises in the partner states through networking, knowledge exchange, sharing innovations.
Gume, however, asked member states to embrace East African integration.
This trade fair also offers a platform for innovation to be tapped by each of the businesses to be able to identify local initiative which exists amongst the communities we thrive in. It's not just about exhibiting poor products, we're exhibiting actually initiative, local capacity.
The State Minister for East African Community Affairs, James Magode, urged the exhibitors to embrace large-scale enterprise and quality produce, which will enable them to expand the market.
And it is paramount that we ought to remain alive to the impediments that inhibit their growth. These challenges result in a high mortality for the for micro, small and medium enterprises, not just in the EAC partner states, but on the African continent as a whole. There is a need, therefore, for partner states to develop and implement a policy framework purposely aimed at spurring the growth of the micro, small and medium enterprises.
The Small and Medium Companies Trade Fair 2022 exhibition was attended by traders from the East African partner states.
So we request for the government to look at us, as youth who are coming up with these smaller products, that at least they support us. Like other countries, they are being supported, but for us, we are not supported.
The next Small and Medium Company Trade Fair exhibition of 2023 will be held in Burundi. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready.
Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe? Paying for groceries the old way.
3, 4, 5. I don't even know what he's doing. 7, 8, 9.
Allow me. Paying for groceries with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to conveniently pay for goods and services. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
That's my wife. Yeah, let me just take these coins.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution, or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone, or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312 206 400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Protection Fund of Uganda.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer news that Ebola is with us. Please wash your hands with the soap every now and then. For the entire business community, ladies and gentlemen, let us lead by example. Let us sensitize our customers and let us be cautious. Avoid the handshaking, avoid the hugs, because it is dangerous for everyone.
If you, your loved ones, or anyone else in your community is experiencing any Ebola signs and symptoms, immediately inform the health officials in your area. You can also call 0800 100 066 or text 8500 for free to notify the health authorities. Together, we can beat Ebola. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from USAID, WHO, and UNICEF.
MTN abatuusaako Christmas digida esookedde ddala ku Resort Beach Entebbe ku Christmas Day nga 25 December 2022 ekulembeddwa Rema Namakula era mwe batiimu Rema mwenna mwanguweeko Gravity omutuju tusimbudde omuyeru badakisi katero kabaka wa stage Henry Ladies Choice Sauda Bagala Maulana and Rain batusese ate nga gabagula w'ebyuma bya Balamu Sounds Christmas digida Resort Beach Entebbe singa mutwalo gumuzoka ekutusibwako MTN.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe? The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
John Ferrer, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call or ask for your personal details. If in doubt, go to your nearest phone service center. This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight. Now, moving on in more stories. Residents in Mubende and Kasanda districts have started normal business after government lifted the Ebola lockdown. Locals have commended government for allowing them to operate during the festive season. Here are the highlights of the first day of operation in Mubende.
Excellence nkweyanza nnyo kutugulawo tuli ennaku enkulu nga tewaliwo omuntu alumizibwa n'okwogera ku mugalo.
Ekirwadde ky'Ebola tukyeraliikirira nnyo okuba tekikyalimu. Tweraliikirira kimu kyakuddamu kukola naye nga tetusuubira kuddamu kukwasaganya mirimu mangu nnyo.
Although it did hit us towards the business surfacing, reason being that many people lost their business, but in the due course, people had to get normalized with the situation of the lockdown. So right now, like I say, you can as well see Mubende now is coming back. As of yesterday, when the Vice President spoke that they have uplifted the lockdown, people jubilated.
Newankubadde abantu babadde beerookingidde mu mbeera y'okutambuza ebigere ebyaddala nga bamanyidde naye bwe baatuguddewo kati abantu bagenda bapiikinga mpola mpola naye twebaza Mukama era Muzeeyi Museveni yabadde kutulowoozaako nga bana Mubende ne Kasanda.
She did speak that we should as well follow the SOPs of Ebola, but right from yesterday night when the lockdown was uplifted, I can as well comment that people have now gone aside to what she said. You see, they're washing cans to some places, they're not there, but I just pray that local government officials around here, they can as well remind the people so that they can as well put all the washing cans around so that anybody entering a supermarket or coming to visiting you to wash their hands.
Gulu District local government has suspended operations of the newly created administrative units due to the lack of funds to build new structures. Now, this follows the district's failure to construct the structures of its 5 sub-counties. Take a look.
This delivery has been delayed in the 5 new sub-counties that make up Gulu District, following the suspension of their operations due to lack of funds to establish the structures.
We have only received from the center only 31 million. And that was in the previous financial year. And that was the fund for startup. And you could imagine how could that 31 million do things.
This is attributed to the poor implementation of 29 billion shillings that was recently passed as a supplementary budget to facilitate the construction of the new administrative units.
Our vision is taking services to the people. The administrative units have been created. Okay, start under a tent, under a tree, but at least now you are recognized, you are gazetted, and money will be voted eventually.
The budget cuts in the discretionary development equalization grant affected much the infrastructural projects, including the district headquarters.
So there is no structures, there is no adequate funding, and definitely you see that the creation was just to excite the public.
Our technical staff are not housed. Maybe we shall begin with the tents next year. Some tents, we shall borrow tents from you, then the departments will be under tents.
The major sources of revenue that were carved into the city forced the district to rely on the funds from the center.
If you are to go and check these newly created sub-counties, the revenue they have collected so far, since they started, you will shed tears. Others 80,000, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, you can imagine.
Meanwhile, allowances of the district councillors amidst financial constraints is also wanting.
35,000 a month. How can you live on that? And people expect a lot of things from you. People see us as local leaders as we are all the same. They see us and they compare us with MPs. If MPs are supporting them, what about us?
Some councillors have given up with the work after failing to make ends meet in the high cost of living.
There are a lot of responsibility. I have children, I have families. I have people who actually I am taking care of as a leader. There are people that I need to extend my support to.
This has affected service delivery since most of government projects left unmonitored.
How can you supervise someone who is well off, somebody who is driving a very comfortable car, and for you, you are on a bicycle, getting 30,000, you are even angry, and you think you can now supervise that person and monitor that person? That person will look at you as a desperate person.
Government urged councillors to continue working, saying leadership is a sacrifice.
Political leaders get allowances. Other people get salaries. That is the difference. And your allowances may not be the same as somebody's salary.
But this is not sacrifice. We are supervising service delivery. We must ensure that the service delivery reach our people.
All this was earthed at a joint stakeholder meeting held by the Office of the Prime Minister in Igulu District, aimed at improving service delivery. Joseph Oko, UBC.
In more stories, authors and playwrights and the Uganda Textbook Academic and Non-Fiction Authors Association have been commended for their efforts to preserve indigenous knowledge through writing books. This was during Writers and Investment Company Limited annual meeting and a get-together held at Uganda Museum.
National Resistance Movement party-leaning women in Nakawa Division have been asked to embrace government programs like Paris Development Model, EMIOGA, Community-Driven Development CDD, and Operation Wealth Creation, among others. Nakawa National Resistance Movement Party Chairperson Nicholas Salinaitwe and the Nakawa Division Council NRM Chief Whip Wile Trinawe encouraged pro-NRM women groups to utilize opportunities meant to boost their household incomes. This was during the end-of-year meeting for Kiswa Paris 7 Zones Women Group, led by the area woman councillor Judith Atuhaire at Kiswa KCCA Primary School.
But they have to look for that money because it's there at the division. Every year, what I know, in the budget, they put in that money. We don't know people who take it. I have told them I will help them to make sure that that money is given to the women who work.
Minister Jakujawano. Ebyo bintu byemukola byonna, project z'enkoko, project zaki, ebyo mu office ya minister webiri.
Group members are engaged in various projects including poetry, rabbitry, mushroom growing, weaving, among others.
We are begging our government, mostly our President Museveni, Robina Nabanja, and more people to help us with funds to buy outside Kampala, mostly in Wakiso, Mukono, and Tebe, where we can put our projects.
I would like to encourage my fellow ladies to be encouraged to save, because saving is going to help us a lot, according to where we have come from.
Despite the challenges, the group members reported a saving of 80 million shillings on their account, to which Nicholas Alinaitwe and other guests pledged to raise to at least 10 million shillings. Edward Colin Juko for UBC, Nakawa.
Point of correction now, that is a story of the National Resistance Movement parties leaning women in the Nakawa division that have been advised to embrace and participate in government development programs to boost their household incomes. But moving on from that, a project aimed at helping health workers identify non-communicable diseases have been rolled out by the World Health Organization Africa region. This has been disclosed by Moses Echodu, a fellow of the Non-Communicable Disease Poverty Network Advocacy, during a medical camp organized at Chengera Health Center 3.
Non-communicable diseases are the world's leading killer diseases, but are severely underfunded.
So one of the things that we're trying to address here is how can the community become really purposeful and really advantageous in helping persons living with non-communicable diseases to live a healthy life, to live a good life, and even those who may be, at their last stages of life, how can they have a productive sense of living?
while they are living with the disease that they are living with. So that is what we are trying to do, and we are doing this with the support of the NCDI Poverty Network. We are doing this with the support of Voices of NCDI Poverty, and of course you have UNINCD in this as well. And while also doing this, we have brought doctors who are teaching the community about these non-communicable diseases.
Echodu said a Pen Plus project has been launched to scale up innovative service delivery models and effectively decentralize interventions for prevention and management of non-communicable diseases.
The project is mainly aimed at ensuring that they train lower health workers to be able to identify these NCDs and diagnose them early, because that has been the challenge that we've had. The diagnosis has been late. So I think that with this, what we have observed is that there is more that needs to be done, especially when it comes to education and awareness, but also when it comes to issues to do with supporting the health workers to be able to identify this disease.
He says the Pen Plus project is an integrated care delivery strategy focused on alleviating the non-communicable disease burden among the poorest children and young adults by increasing the accessibility and quality chronic care services. Echodu highlighted what should be done while accommodating people having non-communicable diseases.
To government to really become intentional and invest in terms of allocating resources. That is, in terms of finances, allocate more finances into non-communicable diseases, because non-communicable diseases contribute to a very huge number of deaths that we suffer as a country. Non-communicable diseases can range from cancer, heart, mental health, can range to sickle cell, diabetes, can talk even road accidents, because those are things that, not road accidents, but injuries. Those are not diseases that can be communicated. So it's about how intentional we want the government to become in terms of allocating resources, in terms of allocating budget to non-communicable diseases.
According to World Health Organization, non-communicable diseases kill 41 million people each year, equivalent to 74% of all deaths globally. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet and only you, the owner, have access to it.
Just dial *185 *10 hash and now you are on. No waiting. Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Over the years, we've dreamed to get onto the world stage. We've had that dream crushed. We've witnessed a total defeat of what could have been our greatest moment. We've felt our spirits go up, only to take a hard fall. We've had our fires burn out and leave only scars. We've seized the wind and had it pulled from our grasp. We've seen pain and we've seen loss of the last fragments of hope. But we are made of resilience, and resilience never stops dreaming. So we will dream even bigger with the Cranes Cup Bowl 2026. Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup.
Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup. For every Now Special you buy, we will give 50 shillings to the Uganda Cranes 2026 fund. You will also get the chance to choose how the Cranes Cup Bowl contributions are spent. Now Special, official beer of the FIFA World Cup and official beer partner of the Uganda Cranes.
Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
The festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94 hash to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. Happy holidays this festive season with Airtel, the smartphone network.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and moving on in our business stories, civil society is concerned about Uganda's soaring debt burden, especially when it means like increased investment in human capital development to service this debt remains untapped. And currently, Uganda's debt stands at 80 trillion shillings, with 33 trillion accounting for domestic debt and 47 trillion accounting or external debt.
The cost of Uganda's debt continues on an upward trajectory, manifested by increased interest payments relative to the country's income.
For instance, interest payments as a percentage of GDP has been rising, and we see that it rose to 3.1 in December 2021 from 2.8 of June in the same year. What does this mean? It means that interest payments are increasing relative to the country's income or to our revenues. They are increasing much faster than the revenues are increasing.
Civil society points out that the average time to maturity for total public debt declined to 9.6 years from 13 years between June 2020 and June 2021.
The same continues to financial year 2021-2022, where our projection was 15.0% against the benchmark of 12.5. That is on domestic interest payments. And when you look at the overall, both domestic and external, in 2019-2020, we stood at 15.9% against the 15%, which is the benchmark for the public debt management framework.
The Auditor General's report for the year ended June 30th, 2020, noted that several loans worth 13 trillion Ugandan shillings appeared to be performing poorly, with some nearing expiry without fully disbursing.
So with corruption, we see government is not able to actually implement its priorities that it should have implemented in time. And when we look at the current economic times, widening deficit, low tax base, government is actually forced to run to borrowing.
And unless we really address the challenge of corruption, then we shall not address the issue of debt. Because if you are borrowing this money and much of it is being swindled and is being stolen, it is not being put to the actual use, then we are going to keep borrowing and we shall keep paying, and we shall still have the same challenge of debt still with us.
The stakeholders are calling on government to adhere to the legal and policy frameworks on debt management so as to sustainably manage Uganda's debt legally. Wadulo Mark Arnold, UBC News.
That's all we had for you tonight in UBC News Tonight, that started at exactly 10 p.m. and has come to an end in just 2 minutes to 11 p.m. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a lovely night and a blessed week. Bye-bye.
Paying for groceries the old way.
3, 4, yeah, 5. I don't even know what he's doing. 7, 8, 9.
Allow me. Paying for groceries.